activity 5 of our ICTC 6212 PoE. Evaluating affordance and constraints for ICT integration for 10 marks. Using the table below, or the table that I've already included into the template, evaluate the ICT integration in a school that you are familiar with as a teacher during your teaching experience of this year, for the lesson that you have chosen in activity 1, which is also the lesson in activity 3. Refer to textbook chapter 11 and conduct your own research if necessary, or assume any information you cannot verify. Copy and paste the table into your Word document and complete the school and community sections by following the guidelines provided in table 11.1 and 11.2 in the textbook. This will help you very much with the completion of this table. So this table is related to the school that you have been to when you did your teaching experience in September. Right, so you would use chapter 11 and table 11.1 and 11.2 of the textbook. Complete the integration strategy and reflection section by discussing whether you can present your lesson as planned in activity 3 without changes and why, or by describing the changes you will need to make in light of the level of ICT integration at the school you have evaluated. So let's just quickly look at this table. So this table is an evaluation of the school, so please indicate your school name here. You earn marks for that. If you do not indicate a school there, you will lose marks. The lesson that you are going to present, I would say here, grade 5 mathematics. My topic is transformations, space and shape transformations. The level of integration score, this will be values from 1 to 4 that you will include here, and the details here you will give a description of the integration score that you have given here. So you are going to score the electricity supply at the school, the internet connectivity, the device access, and the policy at the school that you have been to do your teaching experience. So depending on the score that you've given here, you will describe. So these two should be linked. If you do not know anything about the policy, you can just assume here, depending on the device access that was in the classrooms. If you saw that the learners could use devices in the classroom, or the teacher had a laptop and there was a computer lab, it will be linked here. So you may assume that there's a policy. If you know for certain there's no policy, you would indicate that as well. Then you also need to score the electricity supply in the community around the school, the internet connectivity, the device access of the community, and the policy. Right, so policy here do not fit. I think I've deleted it in the table in the template, so I just need to make sure because there's no policy in a community. So if you look on at the table 11.1 and 11.2, you will see how the scoring works, and you will be able to do the scoring easily by yourself. They give you an indication of how to score according to the descriptions there as well. Then the integration strategy and reflection. Here is the part that was described here in this last paragraph of the instructions. You think back to the school that you have done your teaching experience, and then you think about your activity 3 lesson, and you are going to think, can you present that lesson without any changes, and why? So reflect on that. And if you need to make any changes, because of the level of ICT integration at the school that you have evaluated, you need to also describe which changes you need to make in order for you to be able to present that lesson. The rubric: school and community scored appropriately with details provided, 3 marks. The integration strategy and reflection correctly reflects whether the lesson can proceed unchanged or which changes need to be made based on the level of integration scores. So you would see 5 marks out of 5 marks. So this last part of the table is very important, where you have to give a reflection. Then the table is completed in full. The school evaluated matches teaching experience placement, so you get 2 marks for completing the table and also indicating the school there. I would like to share the lesson plan template with you as well while I'm wrapping up this discussion on the PoE. This is the template that I've also submitted or provided for you on VC Learn. So you would start with your name, surname, student number, and the module code. And please be aware that everything that's indicated in square brackets, you will need to delete before you submit this. I do not want to see the square brackets, so please delete that. Those are just instructions of what to do. Right, the next page will be your table of contents, and we have already filled in all the different activities. This whole table of content is filled in, so just please make sure that your page numbers are correctly reflected here. Then this is activity 1, unpacking the TPAC, that's the title. And for activity 1.1 and 1.2, that's your heading, because it is all done together in one infographic. So this is instructions of what to do. You are going to design your infographic in the app, and then you are going to provide screenshots of the infographic, sorry, not of the questions, of the infographic. And you are also going to give me a clickable link to the infographic. So once you are done with your activity, you delete these in the square brackets. You make sure that you provide very clear screenshots of your infographic and also a link to the infographic. Remember, in the infographic, you need to also give a reference list at the bottom of your infographic. It can be very small font, but you need to indicate the references that you used for this infographic. Next is activity 2. The title is evaluating software. So this is the first part, evaluation of 2 software tools or apps. So this is the table. Once again, you would delete that part. Here you would name the first tool that you are evaluating and the next tool that you are evaluating, and you would write up or type up the objectives and answer all these questions in here. So this is the table. The second part of this activity is the justification of the choice of your software tool or app. The best one that is suitable to achieve your lesson outcomes. That can be the heading. You can change this heading by all means. This is just a template and a suggestion to make sure that you include everything, but the headings you may change by all means. So in 200 words, you will justify why you will choose one of these apps, or if you would choose both of them, you can also indicated in this justification. Right, so it's a paragraph or paragraphs. Then we move on to activity 3, which is the lesson plan. So this is already the lesson plan that you should use. So you can just fill it out here, everything inside. Please note that you have to include at least 5 steps here, because that is also indicated in the rubric. So please make sure these are just suggestions. You can even include more in this space as well. Contingency plan, remember, this would be for every ICT that you have used, you need a contingency plan. So you need to tell me what you would do if the power fails, or if your laptop fails, or if there's Wi-Fi problems or anything. What will your plan be? How would you present this lesson? For activity 4, this is the designing of the assessments for your lesson, your diagnostic assessment, screenshots of the assessment as well as the link. So you delete this, you provide screenshots and a link. The same with the formative assessment, nice screenshot so that I'm able to see what's going on there, as well as the feedback that you would give to your learners, the different options or whatever, and then the link to the formative assessment. In activity 4.2, you will test these 2 assessments by doing it yourself. So you provide me with screenshots of the answers as well as the feedback that will be there, and the screenshots of the formative assessment here. All right, so this will be more than 1 page. It will be a few pages, depending on how many screenshots. Activity 4.3 is the essay of 400 to 550 words, where you evaluate the software, you reflect on it, and you make suggestions on how to improve. Right, so you also delete the square brackets, the information in the square brackets. Activity 5, here is the table, and I see that I haven't deleted this policy part, so I'm going to delete it now and just upload it onto VC Learn again. So for those of you who have already started on this PoE and have used this template, please make sure that you delete the policy there, because our community do not have a policy. All right, so we are just filling out this table. Once again, delete that square bracket information. And then you provide a comprehensive reference list of all your activities. You can even include the references that you have used for your infographic, just to make sure that everything is included in your reference list. So 1 reference list at the end of the PoE with all the different references that you have used, and please make sure that you consult the IIE quick reference guide to make sure of proper referencing.